Michel Barnier has warned Brussels will walk away from trade negotiations with Britain unless the government agrees to back down from its fisheries stance. The EU's chief negotiator said the two sides would have to reach an agreement by October at the latest if the pact is to be properly implemented before the end of the transition period at the end of the year. The Frenchman said the process must be accelerated after Boris Johnson confirmed to the bloc that the UK will leave the EU's single market and customs union on December 31. He told the European Policy Centre think tank, "The real moment of truth will be in October. We will have to be ready to put a draft deal to the European Parliament and European Council if we want it ratified by the end of the year." Mr Barnier promised to find a compromise when he resumes talks with his British counterpart, David Frost, next week. "I have enough trust to find a margin of flexibility," he said. But he insisted UK negotiators would also have to meet the bloc halfway in brokering a deal between the two sides' red lines. Mr Barnier claimed he had shown openness to work on the mix of parameters to find a compromise. He added, "If the UK sticks to its position, there will be no discussion on fisheries and no discussion on trade. We are open to find compromise." Despite the negativity, Mr Barnier insisted a Brexit deal is still in our reach. But he claimed Downing Street would have to move after showing no willingness to meet the EU halfway. "The ball is in the UK's court," he said. "We now need clear signals the UK is ready to work on an agreement that respects the political declaration within the spirit and in the letter. If we get this signal next week and make concrete progress in July, all the better," he added. Mr Barnier said a compromise from both sides would be required before a deal can be reached. He said, "Obviously we have to compromise if we want to reach a deal. The UK and EU have agreed to accelerate Brexit talks when they resume next week in hope of finding a political deal by the end of the summer." Brussels sources said if an understanding is reached before the autumn, officials can then use remaining time to finalise the technical details.